Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 129. It is Monday here in Cincinnati. It is Monday afternoon. I had a funeral this morning to attend, and so I'm a little behind on my normal schedule. But it's so beautiful here that I just want to share the magic of a February morning, afternoon, day that is warm. I think it's 60 degrees outside, and the sun is sort of coming in and out of the clouds. It's a little gray, but it's so warm. It's amazing. So I've been enjoying the shift from all the snow that we had to now this really warm, awesome, springish kind of weather. It'll probably change. Who knows what we'll have tomorrow, but for today, it's perfect. It is perfect. We're going to take Star on a long walk when I pick my son up in a little while and get outside, put our feet on the ground and connect in with this new expression of Mama Earth. So good. So good. We are also at a new moon in Aquarius, which is what we're going to sort of explore or contemplate together today. So I shared and I mentioned this poem in last week's podcast where I talked about I am and just sort of flowed through some of the ways that I feel, how I express how I am. And this was the poem that inspired it. It feels absolutely perfect to be reading it on this new moon in Aquarius because it's about the Aquarius tribe or sign or energy, what a woman, they use her, but it could be a man, what a woman expresses when she is an Aquarian. So I'm going to start by reading that, and then we'll just sort of explore the whole new moon idea. It is by Daniel Dobie, and it says, I am her, talking about an Aquarius, which is me, because I'm an Aquarian sun and Aquarian moon. So I'm a double Aquarian. All right, I am her. This is for all of us with Aquarian energy. She doesn't go with the flow. She is the flow. Her story is one of intellect and curiosity. Guided by feeling, she moves from a space of expansion, always seeking honest spaces where her lungs can breathe and she can share her truest self with those around her. She's different, rare even, a cosmic rebellion interlaced with only good intentions. She believes in the impact of her own momentum and what her gifts can offer the world. She will ask you what your heart longs for, then help you find the courage within to go out and choose it. The four winds, a cloud untamed, and self-expression. She is a truth teller, a primal howl, an echo in the dark forest. Breaking away from the mundane, you won't ever find her in stagnant water. She is one for the changing tides, shifting patterns, and shedding energy that is no longer aligned with her essence. Page 154 of the I Am Her Tribe book by Daniel Dobie. It's so good. I remember when my friend, who is also an Aquarian, sent it to me, I was like, yes, this is me. I've never heard it so well said. And then I read it to my husband, and he's like, that's you. It was so fun to feel all the contradictions of who I am put into this beautiful poem. So I would imagine in that book there are probably poems for all of the different signs, and maybe that's something we can explore more. I'll have to check out the book. But for today, it feels It feels like what the vibration of that poem offers is the potential for what the new moon in Aquarius energy offers us. So when we sit in a new moon, which happens every lunar cycle, every 28 days or so, when we sit in this new moon phase, we are tapping into a night sky that has brilliant stars and no moon to shine this bright light that then dims the light of the stars. So what I have always believed to be true and felt in my own journey is the new moon is a time of wide open possibilities, infinite options spread out in front of us, just like the night sky. And then we get to pick and choose and daydream and contemplate and come up with where we want to direct our intentions for the next month. So from all the possibilities that could ever exist, what do you most want to put your attention on and create and manifest in the next month? So for me, new moons are awesome. They're such fun energy. I think I mentioned before, I realized I was born on a new moon in Aquarius. And of course, that makes so much sense. It's when my energy is at its highest. It's when my creativity is just dancing and playing, and ideas are flowing through me so easily. So even if that doesn't completely match your experience of new moons, allow the idea of that to open perhaps a wider lens for you. So the powerful way I believe to play with the new moon is to find some quiet time and sit down and meditate and tune into the energy of that specific cycle. And then set intentions, daydream, journal, pull cards, walk in nature, sit and look at the stars in the sky. Really create a pause in your activity and then tune in to see what comes through for you, what feels most present, and then how you can direct that into momentum forward into your next month. And then see what happens. The more that you play with it, well, I'll speak for myself, the more I play with it, the more I find how powerful the new moon cycle is. When I'm intentional and I am focusing on what I most want to create and experience and release and birth into existence before the next new moon, shit gets done. Like, things happen. It really gathers momentum and speed and power in this beautiful, playful way. So it's not really important what your ritual or practice is. It's that you make some sort of ritual or practice and create that as a foundation. It's not the right word. It's like a marker in your schedule. You place a place marker, place whatever that word is. Where you place something. You put it on your calendar, and then you create time for it, and you allow something new to birth through you, and then you follow that flow for the next month. Placeholder, that's the word. I knew it. Placeholder is the word. So that's what I would offer for this new moon cycle, specifically for Aquarius. So I am not an astrologer. I am a fan, a groupie of astrology who knows just enough to probably share information that isn't 100% accurate, which is why I always recommend you consult your favorite astrologist and get the true scoop from them, because what you're getting is my interpretation of it, which could be completely biased through my own filter. As an Aquarian, sun and moon, I have a very strong opinion of what Aquarian energy looks like and feels like, because it's so much of who I am. So I'll describe how I experience Aquarian energy. We are hugely interested in universal concepts, big picture, big perspective, how it all fits together, what the latest next amazing thing is going to be in whatever area we're exploring. So for my dad, for example, he was born 2 days and many years before me, and he loves technology. So anything IT related, he's got to get his hands on the latest gadget, and he wants to understand it and be able to explain it to other people, teach it to other people. We are teachers. Many of us are teachers. for me, it's consciousness, love, new earth, universes, galaxies, Gaia, earth, time. Like, I want to play with all of those things. And so I explore those concepts with the greatest of joy and delight. And as I learn, I want to teach, I want to share, I want other people to see and know all of these amazing things that I'm discovering or remembering. That is an energy you can tap into at a new moon in Aquarius. You can literally just tap into that feeling of enthusiasm and excitement and big picture and new inventions, ideas, understandings. You just set the intention that for the next month, that's the field of energy you want to play in. And you can just allow information to come through to you and downloads to happen and pieces to fit together in ways you hadn't been able to put the puzzle together before. So that's one. The way that I experience Aquarian energy, some people describe it as they're kind of standoffish, or they're easily able to drop relationships because they're kind of independent. This is a general statement I've heard about Aquarians for most of my life. They're kind of like eccentric and quirky, and so you have to know how to relate to them. You know, it's almost like an odd species is how I've often heard Aquarians described. They're not always going to be good snuggly friends because they're kind of, you know, in their own world. I don't know if Einstein was an Aquarian. I could probably look that up. But it's sort of how people see that mad scientist, you know, that oddball over there is sort of how Aquarians are described. What I feel, and I describe it so that you can tap into this energy as we sit in this new moon space. What I feel is, you know, I have my head in the stars a lot, and I am exploring these big concepts, and so my mind works really fast at finding all these pieces and pulling them together. And it takes a lot of internal time for me to have all of that happen. And when I'm in conversations with lots of people, there isn't that space where I can fit it all together. And so I've spent a lot of my life having these contrasts of being super outgoing and wanting to hang out with people because I enjoy people and I learn from them and I find them fascinating, and I'm curious about people because they teach me so much. And so I love being in really deep, big conversations and big social gatherings. And all that stuff that I gather and learn, I need that internal time to put it all together, to make sense of all of it. And so it's this contrast of both, introverted and extroverted. It's taken me most of my life to find a really good balance of that and to be able to move very easily between the two spaces and to make that internal time such a commitment for myself, such a spiritual practice that I begin my days with, and then I'm filled up with that spaciousness and I can move through lots of different conversations and activities, and I don't feel depleted. So perhaps as you tune into this new moon in Aquarian energy, what does that balance look like for you? How do you balance being so comfortable with yourself and with what you know and with what you believe in, having that so anchored and certain in yourself that then you can go into any room, any gathering, any conversation and be able to stay centered, stay in your truth, be in your integrity, be transparent. No matter who you're talking to, there's nothing that you need to hide because you're so comfortable and in love with yourself. That's how I feel now. There's no need for me to pretend to go along to fit in. I am who I am, and I love who I am. And as you get to know me, you'll love me too, because there's not much not to love because I love myself. There aren't these hidden, hidey parts that I'm trying to protect or cover. It's just all of me. And when someone's in love with themselves, they're very lovable to be around. So you can tune into that as we start this new moon in Aquarian cycle. Where are the universal galactic pieces of yourself not quite fitting into the human experience? What needs to shift so that you can really love all of who you are? And then taking that knowing of who you are, that certainty of who you are, how do you share that? Right? An Aquarian is meant to be a teacher. I really truly believe that. We receive and know so much because of our connection to the infinite. So how do we share that? How do we teach that? How do we allow others to see our light and then find their own light and expand that? It's good. New moon in Aquarian energy is good. Super exciting. So let me see, is there any other nugget about Aquarians that feels important? I guess the only other thing I would add, and I don't think this is unique to me, I feel like this is a pretty true Aquarian. Does that feel true? It does feel true. It's that we're about, this feeling of the collective being one, of harmony and integration and oneness. An Aquarian can feel how we are a part of this whole universe that's so big, it's so expansive, and we are so essential individually. We are so essential to this incredible, complex universe. And without us, the universe would be less. Like, I really believe Aquarians sense that or know that. They're so important as part of this collective consciousness, whatever words they use for that. And so we can, as we embody that and hold that energy more and more and know our value, we're able to bring everyone together. We're able to focus on uniting communities, uniting businesses, uniting efforts, and bringing everyone into this collective unification, this sense that we're all important, we all belong, we're all extremely valuable. And when we work together and we collaborate, miracles can happen. Something profoundly incredible can be created that we never even knew was possible because we didn't know our own individual value. So how about we tap into that on this new moon in Aquarius? How are we each uniquely essential to the whole? And then how do we use that or align with that energy of our value and bring everyone together? Because that is where miracles happen, fireworks explode, love unites. Like, that's the sweet spot that I believe we're all headed towards. Yeah, okay. New moon in Aquarius. I am going to finish this podcast and then sit and create a new moon in Aquarius meditation, which I will share on my, where am I going to share it? I'll share it on Instagram and Facebook and my website. And if you're looking for a bridge, right? So from this feeling, this vibration that I'm sharing with you, what can you do to actually drop into that space for yourself? And what can your practice begin to look like for the next month so that you can really flow with this new moon in Aquarius, powerful energy? The meditation will offer guidance for that. So if you haven't meditated with me yet or before, this would be a really fun way to try it. You can find the information sometime later today on my social platforms. You'll see it there. All right, I am wrapping this phase up. I'm going to go make a meditation, and I will be back tomorrow. Happy new moon, my fellow, what would I say? My fellow citizens of planet Earth, my friends, happy new moon. Thank you for tuning in to today's vibration. Let's take this message of pure love out into all of our communities and continue expanding love here on Gaia. So much love from my heart to yours.